Yes? Who have you managed to convince? This pleases me greatly. The Svain are the finest scouts this land has ever known. Their skills will be invaluable in the war, and in shaping Avalon afterward. Allow me, in return for your effort and intervention, to return this piece of armor to you. It will improve your chances in the trials of the King's threat. How did you manage to convince the Twyde tribe? They've always kept to themselves, no matter the hardships we faced. You've done the impossible, and I want to give you an artifact the Twyde tribe once guarded. Here, a part to the King's armor they were tasked with guarding. It will aid you as you face the challenges of the King's threat. Could it be that the Volker have uncovered the truth about Mother? Unbelievable. Of all the tribes, I thought the Volker would be the least likely to show. Take these pieces of the King's armor, once guarded by the Volker. A gift in return for the help you gave them. May they serve you well in the King's threat. You have no idea how glad I am that the threat of Tryggve has passed, and that they've managed to appoint a new chieftain. The members of the Ulfred tribe are always the first to fight. Their strength and endurance are unmatched. Without them, we could forget about any real war effort, especially against Camelot. So, allow me to offer you a gift in thanks for aiding their tribe. A unique piece of our king's armor, forged by Ulfr himself, the very forefather they take their name from. Go now, my king, and reclaim your crown. All the tribes can do now is patiently wait for your return.
He might have been, but I don't recall us ever meeting in person. Merlin had many apprentices, and Nimue was the most gifted among them. But even she never spoke in my presence. It is possible Merlin forbade his students from speaking to me, though why he would do such a thing, I cannot say. But Orin seems devoted to a cause he believes in. It's a refreshing perspective, and unlike any we've seen so far. Honestly, I had hoped his discoveries might help me recover some of my lost memories. Sadly, they did not. I remember what Merlin and I chose to do. I simply thought I could reconstruct the reasoning behind our decision. But it seems even Orin wasn't certain of that. I regret that Merlin didn't share his thoughts and decisions with his apprentices. They might have helped us now, on this journey. I'm not ready to answer that question. and I sense the final decision won't be mine to make. You're more important than you think, and our fates are bound together to the very end. In the end, Orin's opinion may not even matter. And what do you think would have become of Avalon if the warlike Dalrita, already revering the giants as they are now, had the chance to worship them as living, active beings? The giants were too powerful to remain among us, especially on lands gifted to the tribes of the Dalrita. There were those among us who demanded their complete destruction. That I would not allow. It was already punishment enough that they enslaved their own children and used them as a bargaining tool. I do not blame the Theod mother for her anger. She has every right to it. At the time, I saw no other way. We had no way to control the giants, and we couldn't allow them to form an alliance with the Foredwellers. So we resorted to deception. The giants are cunning creatures. Had we not gained the upper hand, they would have turned on us at the first opportunity. I am not proud of it, but war follows its own cruel laws. It is. And you should stop asking questions when you already know the answer. That way, you won't be so easily bored. Yes, in the homelands. I thought we could leave him there, but he escaped to Avalon. He took on human form, or rather he used one of his followers as a vessel. It was only when he sensed that Nimue, Merlin's apprentice, had discovered his true nature that he revealed his real form. The beast grew to the size of a mountain, striding toward the temple his followers had built for him deep in the woods. I dread to think what would have happened if he'd made it there. We barely managed to bring him down, and clearly, not completely. I outlawed the Stagfather's cult, but I see that 6 centuries later, it's still around, and surprisingly, among the Dalrita as well. I thought they worshipped only Mathea. No, how would I? The tribes were our allies, but they commanded their own forces. The truth is, that war made monsters out of us all. The Foredwellers weren't just any normal enemy. The way they looked, the way they wielded the Wyrdness. To many, they seemed almost godlike. I don't condone what the Volker did, but sadly, I understand it. That is without a doubt the work of the throne he sat upon. It is carved into the lone pillar, a very powerful artifact, more powerful than I had ever imagined. The lone pillars have long emanated a powerful energy that we never fully understood. At first, we thought they worked like menhirs, but when they showed no such properties, we paid them little mind. And once I gifted those lands to the tribes, our access became limited. Still, I know the lone pillars once served the giants as a conduit for the Foredwellers' will. When the time came for them to depart, the giants would approach a pillar and surrender their life force to it. They believed that by doing so, they would merge with the Wyrdness and become immortal. And after what happened to Thrygva, I'm beginning to believe they might have been right. War never makes sense. It is a tool for survival. Had I refused to wage war against the Foredwellers, humanity would never have survived on Avalon. So if Gurfhanna declares war on Camelot, Avalon will once again drown in blood. But don't ask me what I think of it. Through your eyes, I see that Camelot is no longer the place I left behind. When I gave the forlorn swords to the tribes of the Dalrita, there was nothing of substance here. A few abandoned giant caves, the occasional lone pillar. Nothing more. What stands now must have arisen after my time. And I must admit, I'm impressed with how they've made it their own. Their resilience speaks for itself. Now you ask me, when it was your choices and actions that led to those consequences. You managed to unite all of the Dalrita. That is no small feat, especially considering they tend to fight each other when they have no one else to battle. Gurfhanna should be pleased.
His burden, the man beneath the myth. I am the face that time forgot, the name that was never enough.
First, you used these people to win yourself a kingdom, and now you herded them here under threat of being stomped to death by giants if they leave or disobey. After all that they've gone through, all that they've done, all that they've suffered, this is how you intend to repay them?
No kingdom will stand with people like them within its borders. They would have to change their ways. The Del Rita are not ready for this. You know this.
You did worse than all of them combined, and you are the one responsible for all they've done so far. They fought for your name and under your banners. Does this mean you're not fit to be a king? Not ready to have a kingdom?
I left the heritage of Pendragon behind me. I severed the ties between myself and my tribe. I lost all that tied me to the past when I became king. I set a new path for myself. They are not ready to do that.
Bullshit! You forced them to go against their sacred traditions. You destroyed their identities. They betrayed their comrades because you ordered them to. They kidnapped the children of the giants because you told them to do it. Everything they did was so that you could win this war. And now what? You're going to punish them for being your best, fiercest soldiers, most loyal of your men?
This is not...
So stop with your excuses already. You broke them, and now you're abandoning them to starve or freeze to death in these damned lands.
This kingdom needs to be built on peace, Caradoc. Letting them live among merchants, lords, and ladies in Camelot or Timberwall. How would that go?
Exactly as anyone would expect it to go.
So we would end up with a civil war. Right after we won the war that almost annihilated us all.
Oh, damn you. I've had enough. I stood by you through everything. Even what you did to me. To Seawall. I let it all slide. I told myself it was for something. For a noble cause. But this is where I draw the line. I renounce my oaths, and I'm walking away. Put a blade in my back if that helps you sleep. I don't care. Not anymore.
Now I remember it all. I left the best of my people here. I betrayed their loyalty. And for what? Everything is in ruin. Everything I struggled to build is corrupted. This land, it had a glorious past, but it has no future. There is no way to save it. And what if my decision cost them the ability to grow? What if instead of helping them become better, I forced them to stay set in their ways? I may have been right about the diagnosis, but now I see that I could have been wrong about the cure. The tribes helped us win the war. They were fearless and followed every order. They were the most loyal of all. But I left them broken. And after the war, their bloodlust was insatiable. I had to do something. This felt like the only choice. The giants sided with our enemy. We had to find a way to remove them from the equation. So, under cover of night, the tribes stole their children. I told the giants their offspring were our hostages, and that we would slaughter them if they refused to bend the knee. One of the most humiliating moments of that whole war, both for me and for the Del Rita. Caradoc had the clearest eyes of any of us. He saw things for what they were, and I think I destroyed that. Destroyed him with all I did. I turned him into this. And now he's only a shadow of the man I once knew. He used to carry hope. Now all he carries is vengeance. I come from the Pendragon bloodline. A heritage drenched in as much blood as that of the Del Rita. A heritage that pillaged and fought in the homelands for longer than anyone can remember. and unable to build anything that withstood the test of time. I decided to leave it behind me when we won the war against the Foredwellers, and built our kingdom on Avalon on stronger foundations. Now we've seen that my bloodline must have been cursed. There's nothing left. Nothing worth saving. Nothing worth rebuilding. I gave everything I had to this land. My blood, my soul, my name. And the land devoured it all. I betrayed the ones who believed in me. I cut down the men who fought for me. I turned away from my own blood to build something better. And all I built was another ruin. I thought I was forging a future. I was just extending the fall. Do what you want. There's nothing about this land that I recognize anymore. All I've ever done got turned into dust, corrupted against my intentions, destroyed. Why bother?
Future King, you return. Speak your will through the mortal you now inhabit. Is it time for us to awaken? The Delrita have long been our allies. Through their eyes, we have watched your kingdom fall into corruption. Camelot will fall. Your will shall be done.
We are ready to begin the moot. We were only waiting for your return, once and future king. You were strong enough to walk the king's thread, and you conquered it. What is your will, my king? What decision have you made regarding the giants? Glory be to you, once and future king. fame, and honor to you for all time. Thanks to you, Camelot will fall, and with it, the dead laws and the suppression of the Dalrida tribes. Thank you, my king, for your intervention. I, the voice of the Dalrida tribes, accept your decision with humility and gratitude.
Come here.
So, you finally made it. Took you long enough. I hope you're ready, because this is it. The beginning of the end. Ready to finish your journey, of course. You've come far, but every path ends somewhere. Yours ends here, in the heart of it all. Philosophically, not you specifically, but someone like you. Literally. Yes, and I was getting quite bored with the wait. This is the Charred Conclave, a graveyard for druids, burned alive as scapegoats for the Red Death. It's a reminder of what happens when people fear what they don't understand. Well, first, you're going to meet my former employer. We don't see eye to eye anymore, but we both realize that our collaboration yields results, as shown by you being here. He'll try to sugarcoat the hard truths I've been telling you from the beginning, spin them differently. Never mind. Why waste time here talking about it when you're just a step from the end? It's best if you just go forth and see for yourself. They spoke out. They should have stayed silent, kept to their herbs and potions, but they didn't. They believed their ancient knowledge, ugly and painful truths from times long past, could save Avalon from the plague. And maybe they were right. But people don't want the truth when it's covered in blood.